Modern news coverage has been defined by if it bleeds, it leads. And many of us grew up seeing unprecedented levels of violence in the news. But despite what you might be used to seeing and hearing on the news, if I told you that murder is decreasing, would you believe me? Polls show that Americans' perceptions of crime are changing to better reflect this new era of declining crime, but nearly half of Americans believe that crime is increasing. These same polls report that 22% of people frequently worried of being murdered, and 54% of people recently told a pollster that murder has increased since 1990, when the US murder rate was roughly double of what it is today, compared to just 21% saying that it had declined. We're here to say, the drop is real. Hey, it's Dave here from Aggregated. Let's dive into the murder numbers for 2025. First, what's the bar 2025 has to clear? The FBI started tracking murder rates in the US in 1960, and the all-time low for our nationwide murder rate was in 2014, when it was 4.45 murders per 100,000 people. And where are we now? According to the FBI, the US murder rate has fallen from about 6.7 murders per 100,000 people in 2020 during the pandemic to right around 5 murders per 100,000 in 2024. Recent estimates from the RTCI using data through October of 2025 reports nationwide murder is nearly down 20% compared to the same period in 2024. The Gun Violence Archive, which collects data on fatal and non-fatal shootings using news reports, reports a similarly large drop in shootings, confirming the drop in deadly violence. It will be a little bit before the RTCI estimates for 2025 are finalized, and it'll be even longer before the FBI's national estimates for 2025 are released, but it is looking good for 2025. Now, it's a bit more complicated than this, but doing some back-of-the-napkin math suggests that a national decline in the neighborhood of 15%, which surpasses 2024 as the largest one-year drop, would give the title to 2025 as the lowest murder rate ever recorded by the FBI. Which leaves us with a fairly simple takeaway. The story you feel about crime and the story the data is telling are not always the same. News cycles are built to capture attention, and sometimes slowly changing long-term trends don't get the same buzz, and that can distort our understanding of the world around us. If we want to get a better sense of what's actually happening, we have to look beyond the headlines and get into the numbers themselves. Because when we do, we don't just get better information, we get a clearer view of where we're going. Alright, that does it for this episode of Aggregated. Do any of these numbers surprise you? Let us know what you think in the comments, and stay tuned for the next episode.